Hi, how are you doing today? Hey, Mr. Skeleton here. Yes, I can't talk really well because I don't really have any lips. Hey, I'm back. That's right. Hey, did you like that music in the background? I think I can still hear some of that wonderful music. Yeah, and it's all legal. That's right, my friends. Hey, welcome to another fun-filled day in pure paradise, my friends. This is what learning is all about. Doing everything about math. No, we're learning about a lot of different things, but math is a very important subject. There's just no way around it. So let's go ahead and get started and take a look at our objective today. As you can see, it's listed right here. Our objective states clearly that we are going to be dividing decimal dividends. See, now when we hear these words, we're not so intimidated any longer. We say, Mr. Wara, dividend. I know that word. I've heard that word. And now you know that they're going to be decimals. We're slowly moving our way into that. And then we're going to divide those by two-digit divisors. We're going to estimate quotients. We've done that before. Reasoning about the placement of the decimal point. We did that on the last lesson, if you recall. And making connections to a written method, which we're there. We're all there about making written connections to showing the tenths and all that good stuff. So let's just go and get started. Now you may be wondering, Mr. War, why do you have two problems up here? I've been looking at them. One's in red and one's in blue, and they look so similar. In fact, Mr. War, if you would just get out your magic pen, sure will. I noticed that the answers to each one of those problems are exactly, there's always one that doesn't want to agree. Come on! They're the same. So, now you may want to go ahead and put the video on pause and take a look at these problems and tell me what do you think's going on. What do you notice? Okay? And I'll let you do that. Okay, hopefully you put the video on pause and you're not still listening to the video. Therefore, you just heard this long little space and you're wondering what's Mr. War doing. It was just for you to get a chance to take a look at that so that you could kind of interact with this these problems with me, so to speak. Make it a little bit more interactive. As you can see, the quotient is 28 and the remainder is 8. It's exactly the same. And I guess my question I'm wondering is, does that mean that these two division expressions are the same? Like 904 divided by 32 is equal to 456 divided by 16. Is that a true equation because they both have the same answers? And, I'm thinking, like 2 plus 2 is 4. You could have 3 plus 1 is 4 in a problem such as that. 2 plus 2 minus 3 plus 1. I'm not really so sure about this. The divisor, as you can see right here, is different. Therefore, I'm wondering if the remainder means something different, like it could. Maybe 8 here means something different. So, let's see. Let's go ahead and let's decompose this 8 ones here, okay, into a smaller unit so that we could continue dividing. Is that possible? Can we keep doing that? By the way, the answer is yes. Yes, we can. So let's go to the next page where I have these two problems again. I call them mini problems. They're very, very tiny. However, I am going to be playing with a recording tool here. I don't know if it'll work, but I will try and see. But basically what we're going to do here is we're going to go ahead and let's break this down. So let's take the problem 1, okay, which we know was the same. Okay, let's come back over here and let's do like when we did our basically kind of our estimates, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and put estimates over here because we're going to solve this as well. Bubble! Yeah, it's been a long time. Okay, and then I'm going to come back over here and, yep. And I'm going to go ahead and say, well, when they were solving this problem, I say they, whoever they were, we had 32 times 2 is 64. So you can see how they arrived at that particular product there by multiplying. However, we know that the 90 is really 90 tens, right? 90 tens. Because you couldn't divide 9 by 32. You couldn't break the 9. We had to break up the 900 into 90 tens. And when you divide that, and if we were going to round by 30, okay, we'd get about 3 tens. Okay, so I can see that. Now, the next one, too, we basically have the 20 Is it 26? Looks like 26 to me here was what would have been left over. 26. And that's really 260 ones, okay, because this would be, or 260, and I take that back, 260 tens. But then we dropped on the 4, and now we could kind of round this off. To make it go well with the 30 that we used last time, we'd probably want to round that to maybe 240. So we're going to take the 240 ones, since we joined them together, and we're going to divide that again by the 30. Now, you're wondering where I get the 240. I'm just changing this 26 to a 24 because 30 and 24, it makes it easier to divide when we're doing just a quick estimate. This brings us down to 8 ones. As you can see, 24 divided by 3 is 8. So then we subtract that and we end up with our 8 ones. Now, this is where can we break 8? Well, we can't take 8, divide that by 32. However, what we can do, and I can see how this is going to be a problem here. Yes, I do. Two different sizes. Okay, I'm going to move you over there. I know, isn't that nice? Just going to move this like such, like this. I'm going to go ahead and grab another pen. And let's get a different color so we offset this. So in order to take my 8 ones and again decompose, see, 8 ones, if you recall, okay, it would be the same as 80 tenths. Are you following me here? So here we would have 80 tenths. Because we have 8 ones and there's 10 tenths in each one, we could have 80 tenths. Therefore, we could divide 80 by 32. Okay? Now, we could do an estimate here. I think 60, because we're using 30 again. We would do 60, and this is just the, let me do tenths. Can I fit that in there? Oh, just barely. 60 tenths, then divided by 30 is going to equal 2 tenths right here. Okay? So again, this is just an estimating how we're doing this. This part of the problem, just estimating. And so this gives us an idea what might go in there. So maybe we'll shoot for a 2. So let's go ahead and take 32 times 2. And as you can see, we get 64. Looks familiar, huh? Like from right up there. So now we have the 64, but we actually have 64 tenths because we actually have the 2 tenths here times 32. So now we have 64 tenths. And we're going to go ahead and subtract that. And we get 1. And now we get 16 tenths left over. Well, the 16 tenths we can't divide by the 32. Again, now we could decompose the 16 tenths though into hundredths by just simply adding another 0. See, now we have, ooh, look at that. See, now we have actually much more. We have 160 hundredths. If you look at that, 160 hundredths. Now that we can definitely divide the 32. So again, since we've been, let's estimate here. So since we've been using 30, a nice, I think 150 is close to that. That's going to give us our easy division problem here, 5 hundredths. Okay, and that's kind of sloppy, but I hope you can see it. Anyway, so I hope you can see what that is. Yes. Oh my goodness, that was really kind of sloppy. Mr. Wara, will that disappear? It will. Oh, you can't even erase that. Ooh, didn't know that. Ooh, live and learn. There. Much neater. Okay, so now we'll go ahead and get back to the regular station, the regular programming here. So 160 hundredths, if we divide that, so we figured out that an estimate would be good. 5 hundredths. 150 tenths is this, the 30. And we're just trying to get an estimate. 5. Now, let's go ahead and see what happens. Once we take 32 times 5, we get 10. So we get 1. Oh my goodness, it works perfectly. So now we put our 5. This is actually hundredths up here. So we're taking 5 hundredths times 32, giving us 160 hundredths. And now you can see this problem is over. Okay, now we solved it all the way to the hundredths place. Now this is the other problem that we were looking at, and we said, well, they were both the same, they got the same answer. Now, we could go ahead and decompose the 8 ones here from this problem number 2 and continue on and see what would happen. Now, as you can see step by step, all we did was we added a decimal, okay, when we realized that we could no longer divide into our divisor here. We had 8 is what we had left over from the dividend, the regular whole number. And so what we did was we broke that up into tenths, and we continued to decompose each place value into the decimal place all the way to the hundredths place until we arrived at that quotient here of 28 and 25 hundredths. Okay, I hope you're with me on that. Let me see if we can flip this page and whoa! Oh my goodness. Where did this guy come from? We got alligators swimming through my videos now. My goodness. You know what? Oh, you know what'd be really cool though? You know, give this little alligator like a little bigote, like a little mustache. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, not really liking the little mustache. There you go. Now, guess what? Time to say goodbye. Sorry. Delete. Okay. So let's go back to this problem here. Oh my goodness, what are these videos coming to now? I just don't know. Okay, so I'm going to hit copy. Will that make it to the next one if I go like that? And hit paste. It will. Ooh, life is good. Okay, so now we're going to take this problem. We're going to do the same thing. That's right. We're going to do the decomposition. So again, reminding the objective here, we're dividing these decimal dividends here by 2-digit divisors. We're estimating in quotients is what we did up here. And we'll do the same on this one. Okay. And, oh, I didn't do my thing here. That didn't really come out of that. You know what? Oh, wrong button. Sorry. Sorry. All right, let's do this again. Get a right pen here. Here we go. So we're going to be doing an estimate over here. I'll try to write neater. It's hard with... Okay. Bubble. Yes, that's what I want to do. Now that makes sense. We'll put that there. Come up to the pen. Let's do... No. Let's do green. Green. Like Kermit the Frog. So we have an estimate. Let's go ahead and do an estimate here. We have a... Okay, 16 times 2, I can see how they got that, 32. Okay, I'm okay with that. You subtracted and we got 13. Okay, then you see they brought that 6 down. See, they couldn't take 13 divided by 16, so they had to go ahead and get 136 ones. And they did that, and then they found out that 8 times 16 was 128, and then we end up with the remainder 8. This brings us to our situation here. So let's go ahead and break this down and see what would be the best way. Here, I'm thinking 20. Yeah, 20 is the divisor here. And then that means when we started off with this 45, what would work really nice is a 40, don't you think? Because 40 divided by 20 is basically 2, and it's going to be 2 tens. Okay, do you see what I'm doing here? Yeah, the 45 turned into 40, and then the 16 is to 20. And they just kind of gave us a rough estimate, and when they multiplied, we got 32. And then, of course, another estimate here, the 136, since we were already using 20, well, 136 is so close to 140. So if we'd made that 140 divided by 20, that would have gotten us like really, really close. So that would have been 7 ones, though, because we were using ones down here. And as you can see, we multiplied by 8. So that was pretty close, but not quite. Now, here we are in the exact same situation now. We've showed the estimate, how they determined that problem. This is where we're going to add in our decimal. Okay, we're out of digits here. We're down here with the remainder of 8, but rather than putting our R8 up on top, what we're going to be doing is we're going to decompose 8 just like what we did in the last problem. Well, how do you do that? Well, we're going to turn that 8 ones into tenths by adding down the tenths place here. Now we can say we have 80 tenths. Because they're 10 tenths in one whole. Now we have 80 divided by 16, which is something that we can do. So 80, and since we were using 20 here, are great for estimating. So let's go ahead and use that one. This is actually 80. I apologize. All these over here, well, not all of them. These were tens up here. Let me do this. will move the whole thing for me. Yeah, these are like tenths right here, and then over here, I'm sorry, this was ones. These are tenths, but these were ones and these were tens. Anyway, try to keep that straight. That's quite a job, let me tell you. So let's go ahead and continue to use green. I think so. So let's use green. And let's go ahead and get this one here too. And you know what? I know you're probably thinking, why did I do that? Just remember, the one that goes there is the one that follows N in the alphabet and comes right before P. Okay? Since I wasn't trying to center anything, it was a letter I was trying to write. Okay. So here's my green. So now let's go ahead and see if 80 divided by 20 then would equal 4 tenths, since this is tenths. And let's see what happens if we take 16 times 4. We get 24, 4. That looks like 64. 64 looks like it'll work in there. Just like the last time, 64. And if I'm subtracting then, I need to regroup. And now I get 6, and now I get my 1, 16. Okay, now I have to put up my 4 up here. Okay, we're good so far. So you can see that this is kind of working here. Now I have 16 left over, so you can see that it's like I still have a remainder. However, I can decompose that remainder. It's 16 tenths. Oh, but I don't need to decompose it. Look at that. The divisor is 16 too. So that's really nice. So what I need to do here is simply say, well, I could have done one more. Okay, not a problem. Mr. War kind of working on slow speed here. So we could actually change that 4 to a 5, right? And then that's going to be, rather than 64, I'm going to write right over it, okay? Because 16 times 5, if you look, is 80. So I'm going to put 80 right on top with another color. Isn't that cool? Yeah, so there's no remainder now. That's just a 0. 80 minus 80 is 0 because I did 5 times. So you know what? I think that pretty much covers really the main thing of this lesson, is being able to do this. Let me take a look at 36.14. Okay, that's a really weird looking 4. Divide by 13. Okay, so now we are actually taking our decimal dividends right now, and we are dividing them by 2-digit divisors. So in this case, we're going to go ahead and put that decimal right up there right away. Important. Okay, now estimating quotients here, we could do the same thing. Okay, again, looking at this number, we have 36 tens. First, we probably want to round off this guy. You want to round him off as 10? Probably would be the best, right? And then, so since we have the divisor as 10, maybe what do we want to do with him to make it easy? Maybe 40. So if I took 40 divided by 10, and again, that's 40, the number divided by 10, is going to equal 4. So is that going to work? Well, if we took 13 times 4, you can see 12, 4. It's going to be way too much, actually. I don't know how we come up with that one. Because we've rounded really high here, I guess. So you can see, maybe you guys can already see that 13 times 2 is 26. That's about the best we're going to be able to do here. So 13 times 2 is 26. All right, now we're subtracting 0, 1. Okay, and now this decimal's here, so I still keep bringing my digits down because basically I'm taking my 10 and I'm just going to make it 101 tenths, and that's all I'm going to do here. And I think what I'm going to do here is just for speed is I did that one problem over there. Now I'm going to go ahead and just do the algorithm, as you guys need to learn anyway. Okay, so I have 101 tenths. Now I can divide that out. Now I can take a look at that. I always like, when you have a divisor that has a 1 here first, it really doesn't help you too much here. I see 13 going 100, 10 and 100. 10 times is too much, so I'm going to just try 13 times 9. I guess 7, 2, 9. See, it's still going to be too much. So let me try 8, 4, 2, 8. Now I get 104, still too much. So I know that now it's 7. This is why estimating can really come in handy. Because Mr. War had to try 3 different numbers before we found one that would fit. So now basically what do we have here? We have 1, carry the 2, 7, 8, looks like 91, I believe. And now basically you can see taking that off with 10 left over. And that's good because 10 is less than 13. I bring down my 4. Look at We just figured that one out. So that's 8. So I guess that comes in handy. And then we subtract, we get 0. Now I did this problem, I know, kind of fast, so I'm kind of hoping that you saw the steps that I took. Basically, I'm just trying to find out always how many times this number is going to go into my remaining amount. And that's basically what division is. Let's check our work. Let me go ahead and take these guys, and we'll just move them out of the way. Okay, let me get another color. And as you can see, we'll go ahead and let's get black this particular time. Okay, so black. So now I'm going to go ahead and multiply 2 and 7/800ths. I'm going to multiply that by 13. Okay, so now I get 4, carry the 2, 21, plus 2 is 23. Notice I'm not getting a calculator out. 6, 8. So I try to figure out all my work here because I need practice all the time using that times table. And then carry the 1, 15, 16. Ooh, 15, 16. See how I made a mistake? This isn't coming out right? Oh, no, it is coming out right. Never mind. So I have 2 multiply by 100, divide by 100, and I end up with this, and it checks out okay. So again, this is that wonderful lesson. I'm going to go ahead and let the music take off as it is right now on the way out of this video. And I believe you have everything that you need. Live long and prosper, my friends.